Hello, and thank you for attending this Capital Magnet Fund Performance Report completion training. This module will cover homeownership replacement units. We'll start off the training from the landing page of the Awards Management Information System, or AMIS. Next, we will navigate to the Cmx Performance Report by clicking on the Cmx Performance Report link. If you do not see the applicable performance report listed or need additional details to identify the correct performance report, click the Go button, which will retrieve a full list of the performance reports along with additional details such as the applicable award year. After clicking the performance report link, we are brought to the performance report detail page. Before proceeding, it should be noted that every CMF recipient using their award for homeownership must have a resale and recoupment strategy by the time they have made their first CMF commitment for homeownership. Because these strategies may vary from recipient to recipient, how your particular organization reports the replacements in AMIS may be unique or different from other organizations. As such, these steps are reflective of a general process to report a replacement, but the exact steps needed to be taken by your organization may be slightly different. If you have questions or need technical assistance, we encourage you to reach out to the CDFI Fund. We will provide some steps on how to do so at the end of this training. For our demonstration here, however, we have one homeownership project, House 1 here, that was reported on. The record was created during the 2019 reporting year. We are now in the 2020 reporting year. In this period, we need to report that this homeownership unit was actually terminated because the eligible family that originally purchased it, they have since moved out. There is also a requirement to identify a replacement and make an equivalent investment into that replacement unit. So we will demonstrate through this training one way of how to report that. First, let's start with the original home and update the status to terminated. Because an annual report has not yet been created, we will start by opening the project record for this project from the CMF Project Annual Reports link. You can hover or click and then proceed by clicking the Create New Annual Report button. Once we select the status, we will select Affordability and hit Create. This will clone all the details or copy them forward from last year's report, and we can update as necessary. So the project was in affordability. It has since ceased, so we will leave that as affordability, and for the project status at fiscal year end, we will report this unit as incomplete terminated. For purposes of this demonstration, we will actually go back and update a few of our dates here. We will mark all of these as September 1st. And then it just so happens they decided to move out on 1 year later. We'll say September 1st of 2021, and we will back these up to 2020. So after 1 year in the home, the home buyer decides to move out, and we had originally reported that $15,000 had been dispersed to this project as a grant. However, that grant was set up as due upon sale. It would have been forgivable after the 10-year CMF affordability period had concluded, but prior to that 10 years, the full $15,000 was going to be due upon sale. As such, we will report that $15,000 as program income here in the program income earned, equity loan repayments and recoveries. For the eligible project cost and recipient level or enterprise level leverage, we will leave those fields as they were and hit save. We receive confirmation that the annual report was successfully created, and if we return to the project record, we now see confirmation that the annual report was created and that this project has a status of incomplete terminated. So now that we have reported this project is terminated, we need to report on our replacement. So if we proceed to the Cmx Performance Report, click or hover on the project's link, and then New Project. From the record type dropdown, we will click Homeownership Housing and continue. We will be creating a homeownership project just as we would any other record. So just because this is a replacement, the first set of steps are identical to when you're creating any other sort of homeownership record. So we will name this particular homeownership unit replacement. We will fill out these details related to the project. So this one happens to be down payment assistance. We are providing permanent financing, second lien or lower. The household is very low income. And yes, they are first-time home buyers. There are no other CDFI fund dollars or program funds being used in this particular project, no other sources of federal funding, and the homeowner race and ethnicity, those details are not available. Proceeding along, we will link this particular project to our housing program that was previously created. If you need information on this step, be sure to visit the homeownership reporting module available on our website. Next, we will fill in the sale price information. This particular property happens to be located in Omaha, Nebraska. The median sale price for that area is $180,000. And this property is selling for the price of $150,000. If you need additional information on how to look up the median sale price information, once again, please visit the homeownership reporting module. Proceeding along, here in the project dates, we need to identify the replacement so that this new housing unit can pick up on the 10 years of affordability, where the incomplete terminated unit left off. We essentially need to link the two together. So here in this housing project replaced, we will click the magnifying glass and we can see the project that we just reported as incomplete terminated. It shows up here. So we will select that project ID, which will put the project number into this field, essentially linking both our terminated unit to this replacement unit. You may recall we just reported earning $15,000 of program income on the terminated unit. So for our replacement, we will not be committing any of the CMF award to this project. We will actually be committing that program income. So we will report $0 in the amount of committed CMF investment, and we will report a $15,000 commitment in the commitment of program income, equity, loan, and recoveries field. Next, we will enter information on the eligible project cost. Because this particular project is purchased, the eligible project cost fields are not required. The projected ones are not. The actual fields, which are on the annual report for this project record, those will be required. So since we'll be filling actual values out right away on the annual report, we will go ahead and skip over these projected values for now. Next, we will enter an address for this project. This property happens to be at 1003 7th Street, South 7th Street in Omaha. For the fields on the right, project location, XY coordinates, FIPS code, those can remain blank as the system will automatically generate those, generally overnight. A new addition starting in 2021 is this geocoding status field. So once we save, there will be an indicator stating the status of the geocoding run. So it will tell you that the project has not yet been geocoded or that perhaps there was an error locating the address you've entered. Now that all required fields have been entered, we will hit save to save our new project record. And we receive confirmation at the top that the project was successfully created. Returning to the project address, you can see here the geocoding status is scheduled. So generally overnight or within 24 hours, this information will appear. And this information is critical towards the geographic test associated with your award. So if this replacement record is entered the same day you are submitting a Cmx Performance Report and the system doesn't have time to geocode the address, it's possible you may receive false noncompliances related to the service area or some of the other geographic tests. Just like any other project record, we also need to create an annual report, so we will proceed by doing that. This particular project, it was placed into service during this reporting period, so we will mark it as affordability, and the status will be replaced unit. For the date, funds committed and completed and dispersed. Everything moved pretty quick on this project, and we will report all of those dates as October 1st. For the use of CMF award, once again, you may remember we just committed program income to this project rather than CMF award, so we will enter 0 for total amount of CMF dispersed to this project. And while we dispersed or will be dispersing program income rather than CMF award, we are still going to need to fill out some of these fields in the use of CMF award section. So the type of disbursement for this project, it's a grant, and because of that, we are not required to fill in the interest rate or origination fee fields. For eligible activity, we will report this as affordable housing. Be sure to mark the eligible activity that your organization is approved for, as outlined in Schedule 1 of the Assistance Agreement. If you select an activity that is not approved for in your Assistance Agreement, this will show up as non-compliance on the scorecard when it comes time to submit the report. That $15,000 we reported as committed to this project, we will now report it as dispersed here in the program income, total earned and dispersed through fiscal year end. Next, we will continue to enter project cost for this project. So this particular home, it sold for $150,000. There were $10,000 in closing costs, which are also eligible project cost, for a total of $160,000 in eligible project cost. Of that $160,000, $145,000 came from a private first mortgage from the local bank or credit union, and the remaining $15,000 was Capital Magnet Fund. So we reported the private first mortgage in the eligible project cost private field, and the CMF dollars in the EPC public field. The Capital Magnet Fund dollars will also go in the recipient level leverage field. If you are a 2016 through 2018 recipient, you will use the recipient level leverage field. If you are a 2019 or 2020 CMF recipient, you will use the enterprise level leverage field. There, for many recipients, is a performance goal associated to recipient level leverage. And while there is no performance goal related to enterprise level leverage for 2019 and 2020 CMF recipients, information is still being collected on enterprise leverage. If you have any questions about what does or does not constitute recipient level or enterprise level leverage, please reach out to the CDFI Fund for technical assistance. Right, we received an error here, so apparently the system did not like our date. So we will just update those and once again try to save the annual report. We received confirmation at the top of the page that the annual report has been created. And if we now return to the project record for our replacement unit, if we look at the project dates section, we can take a look at the affordability information for this project. So we can see it was placed into service, the replacement unit was placed into service on September 13th. However, this unit is replacing this given project record, which started its affordability on September 1st of 2020. There was a 12-day gap between when the replacement unit was taken out of service and when the replacement unit went into service. So 12 days is added on to the original end of the 10-year affordability period to provide us with an updated affordability date for this replacement project. If you have any technical questions about the CMF homeownership replacement projects, the service request feature through AMIS is the CDFI Fund's preferred method of communication. To submit a service request, you can click the Service Requests tab, or if you do not see the tab visible, click the drop-down arrow. For additional assistance, we also encourage you to review the compliance report that's available on the CDFI website. The Magnet Fund page of the CDFI Fund's website. If you go to Step 5 under Compliance Reporting, you will find a link to that guide. You may also reach out to the CDFI Fund at one of the phone numbers or email addresses listed at the bottom of your screen. We thank you for attending this training on CMF homeownership project replacements.